Now that we're all set up for jQuery, let's talk a little bit about jQuery syntax and how it works. The function that you saw me write in the previous video was this: $, open parentheses, document, closing parentheses, dot ready, opening parentheses, function, just like this. This is called the document ready function. And what this is essentially doing is saying when the document, which is our HTML document, as you know, when our document is ready, when it has loaded, has rendered, when it is ready, run this function. So when our document is ready, do stuff. That is the core of how jQuery syntax works. This $, starts by making it very clear to the browser that this is going to be a jQuery statement or a jQuery expression. Following the $, in these parentheses, is going to be the target the target of the statement or expression that is going to be executed. In this case, the target is the document, which is our HTML document. Following that target is usually a method using dot notation, dot ready. So dot ready is a function which determines when the document has loaded and rendered and is ready. When this happens, the function inside the parentheses following that dot ready will execute. So to visually put it another way, you might consider it like this. When the document is ready, run this function which does stuff. Okay? Target, event, action. And when you approach writing jQuery, or jQuery that you're not familiar with, it's always a good idea to start with pseudocode. So for example, let's say I have a button in my HTML. In fact, let me go ahead and do this. I'm going to add a button in my HTML. And I want something to happen when I click this button. Let's see, what do I want to happen? I want the background color of my body element to change color. Okay? So the way I would structure that with jQuery is, first I would write the pseudocode. When I click the button, I want the background color of the body to change. Okay, so that is pseudocode. That is writing out in plain natural language exactly what we want to happen and when. So I'm going to start with the first clause, the first part of the sentence, the first clause of this pseudocode. When I click the button. So what's the target going to be? Well, it's going to be the button. So I'm going to select it like this. I'm going to talk about jQuery selectors in the next video. So for right now, just take it on faith that I am selecting the button I added to my HTML right here. So that's my target. $, indicates a jQuery statement. And in these parentheses, I put my target, my button. Now, what's the event that I want to happen or that I want to listen for? Well, I'm going to listen for a click event. A click event. And that takes care of the entire first clause of this sentence. When I click the button, that's covered right here. But what do we want to see happen when we click the button? When we click the button, what should execute? Well, I want the background color of the body to change. So let's write a function inside the parentheses following this .click method, which causes the background color of the body to change. Now you should know how to do this already with vanilla JavaScript, how to change the background color of the body. You would probably write something like document.body, which targets your body element, .style.background color equals tomato. Or it might be something like document.body.style equals, and then in quotes, background color tomato. Either of these will work, right? And in fact, let's test it out. Reload my page. There's my button. When I click it, it changes the background color of my body. Okay, but because we're learning jQuery, we want to write this vanilla JavaScript function, or this vanilla JavaScript expression, rather, in the form of jQuery. So let's go ahead and translate that real fast. The same principle that governs jQuery syntax is going to apply. So I want the background color of the body to change. What's my target? It's going to be the body. And then what do I want to see happen to it? Well, I want excuse me, I want the background color of the body to change. There are a couple of ways to affect style or CSS properties using jQuery. The most common, and the one which we're going to focus on later on, is going to be .css. And inside of the parentheses following .css, we can feed it two values. First one is going to be the CSS property we want to change, comma, followed by the value of that property. So background color, tomato. Reload, hit the button, and there we go. The body changes color on the click of a button. So let's condense this, make it a little cleaner, rewrite it down here. $, parentheses, select my button. On the click of that button, I want to run a function which causes the body element to undergo a CSS change or a style change that causes its background color to turn tomato. Okay, that is the function in the cleanest possible jQuery code that should come from that very first sentence we wrote. When I click the button, I want the background color of the body to change. So it changes from white it changes from white to tomato. One more time, I click the button and the background color changes. Okay. Now we will take a closer look at the .css method in a few videos, but the key here is the syntax. That's what we're getting at. So once again, start by writing pseudocode. Write out what you want to achieve in plain natural language and figure out what is the target and what is the event that you are listening for. And that event should invoke a function. And inside of that function, you need to think, how are you going to similarly write the effect that you want to see happen using jQuery inside of that function. When I click the button, I want the body element to change background color.